Welcome to the Crypto Podcast. You can find all our episodes on thecryptopodcast.org. We're also on BitChute and YouTube. You'll find the links in the podcast description. I'm a podcasting coach as well if you want to start your podcasting journey, because I've got 5 podcasts with 4 in the top 0.5%. They're The Awakening, Speaking, Meditation, and Learn Polish, and all can be found on roycon.com. Today, my guest is also a podcaster, and a very good one at that. Please welcome Sam KAMANI.
Thank you, Roy. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast.
So I suppose you can start by letting the listeners know who's Sam.
Yeah, sure. So, as Roy mentioned, I am also a podcaster. I podcast about Web3, so everything about Web3, from NFTs to metaverse to building communities and so on. I'm just very passionate about this space, and I love to meet like-minded people like Roy and find out what is going on in the world of Web3, decentralization, and cryptos and everything else in the space. What really interests me is technological solutions which have real utility and which are not just smoke and mirrors. So that's what really interests me. Apart from that, I work for a company called moonstream.to, where we build the building blocks for Web3 games. So we have created like a Web3 engine that any games or any NFT projects can use to add more utility or more sort of mini games to their ongoing project. So that's sort of what we do in the first 8 months of that we've been running, from October to just recently. We did over $3 billion in transactions. We are doing about 1 million transactions a month. So we are growing like really, really fast. It's crazy times at our company because we provide real utility. And once again, it's a more of a B2B product. So our product is used by other metaverse or sort of Web3 game or play to earn game startups to increase their engagement and increase the size of their economy and stuff. So that's what I do. Apart from that, I have about 15 years or more of experience of building tech startups. I've had 2 small exits in past. First one was in e-commerce. Second one was in esports. I have worked mostly in New Zealand and a little bit in US and Silicon Valley on different sort of projects. I've written books on tech startups. One of the most popular one or that did really well for me was called the 30-day startup, or it's called the 30-day startup. It's still there and available on Amazon. For the first 6 months, it was always in the first sort of top 10 in its category. And and I enjoy talking with like-minded people like Roy, people in this sort of industry, people who are forward thinking, who are optimistic and ambitious. So yeah, looking forward to talking with you today, Roy.
Yeah, so brilliant. So like, I'd like to talk on a lot of the stuff that you're doing, but something that I'm currently working on, I'm bidding on an NFT. And
yeah,
it was my first time kind of doing it. Saw this thing, but the utility was good. Like the painting, it's for a charity. I won't mention the company just because what I'm going to say for safety reasons. But I could see that this, like 3 or 4 different people started bidding on it, and I was like, this doesn't look right. There was like there's over 20 pieces of art on it, and it looks like, because you can go in and check somebody's activity.
Yes,
none of them have bought anything, and it's like they're all playing to raise the price up. So I don't think I mean, obviously they have the money. It's in the Opensea platform. They obviously have money to be allowed bid, but I assumed that if you were bidding on 2 things, you'd have to have the money to buy the 2, but you can actually bid on 50 things with just the amount of money for 1.
Yes.
And it's what's your thoughts? Have you seen stuff like that going on?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, whenever industry is new, there are lots of scams. So this is the Wild West of the online world. So just like in the mid 90s or or the late 90s, when email was still new, I used to use Hotmail, and I remember getting more like nearly 80% of my inbox was filled with emails from a so-called Nigerian prince, or someone selling counterfeit Viagra, or Canadian pharmacies, or all those types of things. And then what that meant was that there was an opportunity for people to build products, and Gmail did build an amazing product where we don't see the spam anymore. It automatically goes to the promotion folder or spam folders. And so what it means is that there is a massive opportunity to disrupt likes of OpenSea. Lots of people are unhappy with OpenSea and what's happening, and how they are running their product. And a lot of news tech sort of marketplaces in this space are coming up now. The activity that you described is nothing new. That happens in traditional auctions all the time, and there are lots of even art galleries that have been blamed for doing that, where they plant someone in the audience to raise the hand who don't have the money, or who's their internal person, and even if they did buy it, they wouldn't actually change the hands, and they say, oh, sorry, the deal didn't go through or something, and then it will be listed again after a year and a half, the same painting.
A
So
friend of mine today, he said, because he was talking about the real auctions as well. He said it's like mine, yours. That's the way
yes,
it did.
yes, yes. So whenever there is money involved, people are going to do things like that. But that means there is an opportunity to build a product. And because I mean, even though people say Web3 and anonymity, in fact, what blockchain offers is transparency, that you can go and put anyone's number in each scan or polyscan, or anywhere, and find the history, trace their history. Are they legit or not? So in fact, it provides a lot more transparency. You could do that in this environment. If it was a traditional auction site, you might not have been able to do that and find their history and see what they have bought in past. It's very hard to do that in the non-blockchain world. So the benefit is not what people think it is. The benefit is transparency, not anonymity.
And can for me, obviously these guys have done that before, because you can see like they're bidding, and they're in cahoots with each other, but they have never bought anything. So
No,
like
it
for
could just
me,
be it could be the artist himself. It's so
yeah.
easy to make one more digital wallet. So you could
Yeah,
make
I
10
saw a
digital
lot of the
wallets
wallets were
yourself.
just created in May, like they're new.
Yes.
But one thing,
Yeah.
because when I went for one of the, I didn't realize at the time that the first bid for one of the ones I went for was actually one of them as well. So I don't know, is it
Yes.
in-house? It might be in-house, to be honest with you. That's my
No,
my
I don't know. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know. Seriously, I'm just
But when you
speculating.
bid, no, I actually think that myself. When you bid, it has to be plus 5% on OpenSea, because they don't allow you to
Yes.
bid point. And I have seen on one of the ones that I was doing that there was two bids at the exact same price, and then there was a load, and they weren't even 5%. They were like a fraction, and I was like, "How is that allowed? How's that happening?" Because for me, when I bid, it was automatic. Like that was, so that seems strange. Have you come across anything like that?
No, I have not. I have not bid. I have minted NFTs before, but I have not bid and taken part in an auction on OpenSea itself. So I cannot comment on that. But there could be sort of a time difference that has happened, or they have a bug in their system. They often do. Every product in this space is brand new. The whole industry is brand new, didn't exist 2 years ago. So there are still a lot of bugs. People are rushing to get their products out so people can trade on it and stuff. So yeah, there's often bugs and things in this space. So it could be a bug. It could be one of the. It could be part of the feature that and because of when your transaction got accepted, and maybe it just took so long to get processed and stuff, and web or blockchain is known to be slow. The cost you pay for this transparency and immutability is the speed. You sacrifice speed for it. So it could be just that when you or maybe they did their transaction 5 minutes ago, it just got accepted now, or it's showing in blockchain now. So yeah, it could be something like that.
Okay. And like, there's another thing that I learned as well, just from reading the book, and I double checked it. I mean, it seems that it's the situation that, in other way, like say an artist, and it doesn't matter whether it's music or say art,
Yes.
like the royalties, so they can choose what royalties, so say 10%. But if you take it off Openseas onto something else, you can kind of circumnavigate the actual royalties, which is kind of strange because you'd like to look after the artist. Is that something you're aware of?
How does that work? I didn't um
Like,
so
because it was
no,
in
no,
one
it's up to the smart contract. No, it's up to
yeah.
the smart contract, how the smart contract is written. So maybe, just maybe, if you have minted on OpenSea, then maybe OpenSea, that's how those smart contracts are made. But if you are creating your own smart contract, you could encode in that every time that artwork is traded anywhere, you get the 10% royalties. So once again, then it comes down to the to how technically advanced the people making the smart contract are.
So you can have it technically
Yes.
a system that it automatically takes the 10% no matter where they sell it. You don't have to rely on
Yes.
the
Yes.
trust of the, because I mean, it's, there's so many
Yeah.
people that
No. Then
wouldn't.
otherwise it defeats the purpose. Then it's
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
completely decentralized. The beauty is that yes, you can deal on centralized networks. That yes, you can buy, whether it is Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of this, you can buy them on Coinbase or a centralized platform like wherever. But the beauty is that you can take it out of that system and put it on your digital wallet, and take it out of the system and have it just be with you, um, to later on trade on a decentralized exchange or do whatever you want, or not use it for the next 10 years, and come back, and nothing can, and no one can touch that money as long as you remember your password and everything.
Yeah. Okay,
um,
perfect.
yeah.
And with domains, because that was something I was looking at yesterday, and that seems
Yes.
like the Wild West as well. How's that with the .eth? How, like, I thought from kind of just hearing about it that it was something that was like kind of you just get it and you have it for a lifetime once you get a certain thing. So I went away and done one, and it turns out that it's only for a year, and I was like, this is similar to going GoDaddy or Name or something like that.com. And like, did I just
Check
get?
out, okay, check out Unstoppable Domains. For $10 you can get a domain and it's yours for lifetime.
So I
And they
basically got
are,
caught. I went to the wrong one. Like, yeah.
yes. So go to
And like it was on the
Unstoppable.
top of a Google search, like, and I was checking different things
Yeah,
just to.
no. They are on top of the Google searches. Okay, so let me tell you another, because I've been doing like Google and all this since 2004. I was running ads in 2004 when most people didn't know what, most people were doing yellow page advertisements and stuff. I was doing Google ads for a business, and that's how my first entry into business and stuff. Um, so, when you are looking for a plumber, and the plumber that comes, or a mechanic that comes first on the Google, could be the best one, but does not necessarily mean that they are good at their job. That means they're good at SEO. That means they're good at digital marketing. That's what that means. um, so yeah, it's the same thing. So if you find something, so Unstoppable Domains does Web3 domains or blockchain domains, and yeah, you can buy something for lifetime.
And
um
what about in the situation where I have it now, where it's a year? Can I kind of transfer to them and take it back that it would be on, or is it that now
I
that
don't
I've
know.
got it?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know,
Because I'm
because
finding, because
seems
some
like you
people
have,
have
no, you've
thousands of
got.
domains for sale. So there's obviously spammers making a business from this, catching a lot of
Oh
people.
yeah. Because it is .eth
Yeah.
domain. What's the name? I think ENS domains is the one probably where you went to,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
started the ETH domains. And the reason why they are so big is that if you were one of the early users of .eth domain, they did an airdrop and they gave out $60 million or something to their community. So, and the money they gave out was on the number of domains that you own. So lots of people back in the early days bought tons of domain, like 10, 15, 20, 30 domains. So not only they can sell it on an open market as a valuable domain because it's a small name or a unique name, like if it was roy.eth, it would be worth a bit more than your sort of full name.eth, because shorter domains are worth more. And not only they get to get that price valuation going up, the more domains you held, the more money you got. So there are people who got $80,000, $60,000 just for owning few domains that they bought
So
for
that was great.
small money back in the days. In 2020, they bought for really small amount of money when Ethereum fees was also really low and stuff early in the days, and then they made a killing out of it.
So
So
they have all the signatures. So they have like 60, something like 58,000 or something like that, where they've basically signed. So it looks like
yes.
it was kind of decentralized and created, but in reality, it was a big marketing scam and get a few people involved. So from now on, everybody's getting caught.
Yes, in a way, but no. But the thing is that all these people own the tokens in the company. So all these 58,000
Oh,
or
so they
whatever
get
number of
shares of the
people,
money. That's so it's kind of diluted. It's
kind
not
of, yeah.
okay. So then it's
So
not. So it's not.
now they are the holders of the DAO. So it turned into like a DAO, and then so now the money is going back to them. So the early holders became the early owners of that, and not only that, they benefited from the token, the ENS token and stuff. And then now they'd be able to vote on how they wanted to go and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. So you might tell me about the games and the utility involved and all that.
Yeah, sure. So let me tell you a bit about like Web3 gaming or blockchain gaming. So do you play any games, or have you played any games in past?
When I was 13, I think I had a Spectrum 48K, then I got a Commodore 64, then I got an Amiga, then I think, I don't know, something that I was addicted to games. I got out of it, but my brother and my friend, they still do it and they still buy it. And I see even with
Yes.
my son, like Minecraft is kind of what they're all the kids are into these days.
Yeah. But when you were playing like the Commodore, what was the game that you were playing
I was
in?
addicted. We were just constantly getting games. That was the tape recorder one, where you had to
Yeah,
wait
yeah,
about 10
yeah,
minutes for
yeah,
a game. But like Commando was one of them that I remember.
yeah.
Loads of
So
fighting on Double Dragon, things like that.
yeah, in Commando, you have your own character,
Yeah.
and that you play with. What happens to the character when you stop playing that game? In most cases, the character just stays. It just dies. Pretty much, it just stays there. In blockchain gaming or Web3 gaming, you can take that character out, because it's all on the sort of a big, sort of a long number, and it's on the blockchain. And you can either, because you have, in most games these days, your character upgrades. In most games, your character upgrades as you play through the game. And then you can either sell your character on Opensea or any of these sort of markets or any marketplace, um, or you can keep it, or you can take it to another game that accepts it. So you might go from one platform to another, you might go from one metaverse to another. um, and the benefit for the game developer is that they can get a cut out of it every time you sell your character to someone, and then they sell it to someone, and so on. um, Also, the more upgraded your character is, the more unique it is, of course you'll get more, you would be able to
So, for
command a
example, in
higher value
a
for it.
fighting one, like you're probably buying all the guns and all the armor and all that, and that's it,
Yes.
like an NFT. So that the creators then get a royalty every time, and you can resell it if you want to
Eh,
get something bigger. Okay.
yeah, resell it, or lot of people play these. They're also called play to earn, is because they make money. So how a lot of games have their own currency or anything, or like
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the game Contra or Mario,
Mario. Yeah.
or yeah, and how you the Mario, the plumber, sort of jumps around and collects all these
And
coins.
was the
So
plumber on page one of Google? Was he?
yes, that's a good one. Yeah, that was Mario. Uh, no, so he collects all the coins and monies and stuff. So most games have their own currency. so far the currency lived just in the game and then finish and was poof. But with the blockchain games, it's the tokens, and the tokens you can take out, and the tokens live on a DeFi exchange, and you can trade them, and so you make money out of it. And so it is a completely different paradigm. And then the game developers, they have to manage their own game economies, just like an economy of a country. They have to manage inflation and deflation, and they have to manage how many people playing, what sort of money they're going to reward, or what sort of tokens they're going to reward, and all sorts of decisions. So a lot of these Web3 games also have a role, some of these good companies, of an economist in their team to manage this economy side of things of the currency. It's pretty much becoming like real life. And but you take your character with you, you take your clothes, your gems, your whatever, you might call accessories, your armor, guns, all that stuff with you, and then you can either sell it, you can take it to another metaverse, and it will look stylistically the part of that. Because for example, say you have created the game Mario, and there are people playing Mario, and there's like 10 million people or 20 million people in the world playing Mario. They've upgraded their Mario character through every stage. It upgraded, it changed colors, it got different clothes, it unlocked different loot boxes, all that stuff. And at the end of it, I am another game developer, and I see that, hey, there's 10 million or 20 million people with Mario. I want to let all these Marios come and play in my game, in my metaverse. So doesn't matter what the type of a game is, I would be able to incorporate. So say, for example, I have a card game, and a card game is like a poker type game or something, and it's completely different to Mario. How would the Mario jump around there, and what would Mario do? But what I would do is say, if you have an upgraded Mario to this level, then I'd be able to see on like Eatscan or wherever that how many people hold that type of a thing. And then if you have that, you can enter your address in my card game, and the back of the cards will all have, instead of just a generic design, they will have Mario. Or you would have your Mario next to your name banner, or it will be on the tablecloth somewhere on your side of things. So it would be customized to yours. But then it could be a fighting game, and then your character looks like that version of Mario or something. So it would be up to the game developers how they want to incorporate, how they build out, and things like that.
And for just like, for example, the poker
Yes.
game, or just say it was some other game,
Yes.
whatever, do you need to get the rights or anything then from the actual creators of the game if you're going to be trying to attract, let's say, the Mario from that platform?
Let me give you a real life example where this has really happened, and this happens all the time. But the one that the most famous one where I can think of, so there is a sports company called Under Armour, which you might have heard of.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And then not sure if you follow NBA, but there's Steph Curry, who's a very popular sort of a NBA star, like a basketball player. And so he did like 3,000, he did like a lifetime sort of achievement, which is a 3,000 3-pointers. And so he released 3,000 of his Under Armour shoes, because he's not with Nike, he's with Under Armour. So he released 3,000 Under Armour shoes, and you can wear his shoes. So you can wear his shoes in 3 different metaverses. So you can wear them in Decentraland, and your character will wear that, and they look stylistically as they belong in that sort of universe. Just like the artwork in Mario is very different to the artwork in Minecraft, and different games have different artwork, so it would look like that style. And then when you take it to Sandbox, another metaverse, it will look like that stylistically. And your character will be able to wear it. It will still have the same color. So if your shoe was blue and white, it will still be blue and white, but it will be more pixelated to match the style in this game, another game. So they all collaborate. The games collaborate with Under Armour. Under Armour collaborates with Steph Curry. So
But
because
do
it's
different gaming companies collaborate with each other, or are they totally
absolutely, they will
in
have to. They will
yeah.
have to facilitate that. So for the thing is, it's in the interest of everyone to collaborate. So for Under Armour, the benefit is that they can say consumers, so it doesn't matter, you want to play Sandbox, you want to play Metaverse on Meta, like, or new Facebook, you want to play it on Decentraland, you want to play wherever, you can take our product, or your NFT that you bought of the shoe, you can put it on your character in any game. If you take it to Mario, for example, Mario will be wearing these blue Under Armour shoes that you just bought. So that's the in theory, that's how it is. But of course, these three metaverses or these three games collaborated on that. There will be more games that will collaborate in future.
And just quickly on the payment then, because I see with Opensea is it
Yes.
seems to be like ETH, and then you transfer it to WETH. So which basically means you're not paying the gas fees when you're bidding, I suppose. It's kind of, that's the reason behind that. With the gaming, do they all do their own? Because I see there's so many, like some are using Solana. Is it that they've kind of agreed?
Yeah, they do all their own. They do all their own. Then they will have to stick to their sort of, but there will be bridges and there will be ways to convert. And once again, the more problems and the more ways we'll have to work around, the more the opportunity is there for companies to come and solve those problems. And that's the reason why there are so many Solidity developers and so many blockchain developers needed and so many people in security needed, and so like everywhere, because there's just, the whole field is getting built. But there's more aspects to this than we think about, because now money is there, there's good and there's bad. As soon as money is getting involved, people are not taking it as fun. People are converting it into a job. Just like, when you were playing, say, Mario or Commando, or like, you didn't need to worry about, that when you finish the game, Commando's gone, is there. You didn't need to worry about that. You know what? You weren't seeing dollar signs that after this, I'm going to sell my Commando and all the guns I collect in this onto an open marketplace, and I might make $80 today or $10 today, so I better grind. And then it suddenly converts it into work. So even though these games are called play to earn, because now you can start playing and you can start even making money out of them. And
I've heard that there's people that are kind of having teams do it from. So like they get the value of it. So they're paying people obviously less than what they're earning from it.
Yes. So that was the next thing I was going to go and talk about. So since these things are happening, it is becoming like work. And then since it's becoming like work, it is starting to get outsourced. So because people look for opportunities and they think that, okay, if I am in Western Europe or North America, the minimum, I don't know, pay I can make is $15 an hour, but I can get someone for $5 an hour in Philippines, and they can still have a good standard of life. And then they can, and then the other way these play to earn games work is that they might have released the characters already. So like just this morning, I was talking with someone who is launching a horse racing game called Silks. And so they have already sold the jockeys. So and then they'll sell the horses, and so you'll need the horse and the jockey, and different horses will have different characteristics to buy and race in the game. And if the game is successful, or whenever games are successful, the value of those NFTs skyrocket. So then the NFT would be worth $3,000 or $5,000 or $80,000. And now most young people in Philippines cannot buy that. So what happens is they come together in form of guilds. And then guilds have the money. So that's what you were talking about. That's what you were just sharing. So there's where the money goes in a pool. And then the guild sponsors people. So they are, so as a young person with time but no money, you can write to the guild, or you can apply to the guild and say that, hey, I would like scholarship for this game, and can you give me scholarship, trust me with your $3,000 or $5,000 NFT, so I can go and use it in the game as my character to go and play in that game and earn some money, and then we divide it up, or whatever they might negotiate on. And then it becomes like a job offer kind of a thing. And then the guild will go and do background check that these are reliable, and he won't run away with or she won't run away with our NFT.
Yeah,
So
it's a big risk, because especially when it's
yes.
across the water, because that was my question when I heard about it first time. I was like, I mean, my experience in life is
So
everything is good till there's money involved. And if somebody understands the true value of something, it's like, hey, I've got X
this
amount
is
here. Like.
we are talking about tens of millions of transactions. We're talking about hundreds of millions being traded every week, or if not even more. So there are 20,000 guilds in the world, and the guild could be as big as few people, two people, to 200,000 people. The biggest of the guilds are over 100,000 people in a guild. They all congregate and communicate on Discord. And sometimes a guild will even ask you for a reference from another guild or another game that you have played on. There are 1.5 million scholars who are actively playing in this game. Most of them are in Philippines and Vietnam. Philippines would be the main sort of market where and yeah, so that's what is happening at the moment. And the thing is, this all would not work without blockchain. Blockchain allows it to work, and allows your characters and things to be platform agnostic. And then, when you're done, you just sell everything on OpenSea and call it quits the day you're had enough, or you don't want to do it this way. But that's why I think that the future of blockchain gaming is still in building engaging IP. Of course, there's lots of people who raise money to build these blockchain games, and then they sell out all their NFTs with the promise of a really good game, and then the game doesn't deliver, and then the project disappears and stuff. So those sort of things also do happen, which did happen in the traditional gaming world as well. So
I'm
yeah.
just thinking with the horse racing one, that because you buy them separately. So if you bought the jockey but you weren't able to buy the horse, does that mean the jockey has to run next to the horses?
Who knows? I have no idea. No. It's very complicated. Most of the games are so much more complicated. So you can then buy land, and then combine land and create stables, and then the studs will have the you'd be able to rent the stud out to go and breed the horses. So the first game ever was CryptoKitties in 2017-18. It was very, very big. Like millions of people played that game, and where you would breed cats. So that was it. That was the game. There was nothing more to do that. And so I was just talking to I used to play CryptoKitties in 2017, 5 years ago. And 5 years in this industry is a very long time. It's like it's like 2-3 decades. So I just this morning I was also talking to the ex co-founder of CryptoKitties, and we are just sort of exchanging sort of war stories from back in the days and stuff. And he just wanted to build a game. He was just like, or not a game, but he just wanted to build something with cats, breed the cats and stuff, because he, like the internet, like back in the days when YouTube was new, it was all like, oh, it's only for cat videos. I don't know if you remember those days. That's what YouTube
Yeah,
was to be
I
called,
do.
that, oh, it's for cat videos. Nothing. It's never going to be anything serious. So he just wanted to have some fun and build it for the cats and stuff. And that's all you could do. You could get a cat, and your friend could have a cat, and you can breed those cats, and then another new baby cat will be born, and then it will grow over time or whatever, and then you can sell it. And it was very, very basic. But it started it was the first wave of people experimenting with this sort of a thing. And
I
then it
could
was
see the
fun.
horse one working, actually, because like I know a few people that are into horses. They spend a lot of money on that. So if they got into it, because obviously the way the game is
So
going
they
to
do
work,
real life
you're going to be
events.
giving good food and stuff like that to the horses.
Yes.
And is it an algorithm based on what you have done then that will win the race? They'll probably bring betting into it as well, then, I'm assuming, will they?
I assume, I don't know what their roadmap looks like. I didn't look at it in detail, but they're doing a lot of events with real life events. So a lot of the NFT projects do combine real life events. Like another guy I met, he has like some NFT samurai project. So they even do like Japanese tea making lessons, and some were like Japanese sort of language lessons, and they have like raffles for if you own an NFT, a trip to Japan, and all sorts of things. They have a whole list of things that they do. A lot of the NFT projects do real life events. So these guys do with the horse racing clubs and stuff, like real life events where yeah, they take people and do, like they're doing with Kentucky Derby and all that stuff, some collaborations and stuff. So
Brilliant. And just on Ethereum, because I know you've talked about that on your podcast, Ethereum 2.0. So what's your thoughts on that one?
oh, I don't know. So in even in 2016, 17, I was hearing a lot that Ethereum 2.0 is coming, Ethereum 2.0 is coming. So it will eventually come. But it is a bit like Jesus is coming. So when, we don't know. um, I mean, everyone has an opinion on that. Some people say it's a lot closer. But I've heard that for over 5 years now. Um, and that's what Vitalik also said, that yeah, it could take another 5-6 years. So
yeah.
so who knows. There is of course a lot of competition for Ethereum because of Solana and Polygon. So there's a lot of developers building things on those two platforms.
Yeah, I can see
That
Solana's picking up, there's, because it's mainly the gas fees is what's the main problem, really, isn't it? That's the reason that people are going for Solana instead of Ethereum, because it's expensive at times.
Yes. So the thing is that, how I used to run an agency back in the days, and like a software development agency or a web development agency. And then we used to say to our customers that you can choose any of these two out of the three, which is cheap, fast, and good. So you can have it cheap and fast, but it won't be good. You can have fast and good, but then it won't be cheap. So, you can choose any two of the three. It's the same thing with blockchain. So you can choose um, decentralization, but if you choose decentralization, it won't be fast and cheap. So Ethereum is quite a bit decentralized and really immutable and lots of other things, whereas Solana is very centralized in a way. So you're pretty much using like a you can even call it like a traditional data. I mean, not that far, but a lot of it is controlled by VCs. So there is a chart of tokenomics on, who controls what. And the VCs and the founders of Solana control nearly half of that blockchain. So you are going slightly more centralized to and get speed. So yeah, so that's the thing is, but for most people, they don't care, they don't want to pay fees, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to most people. A Polygon, and there's lots of layer 2 protocols that are coming up, like Polygon and stuff, so where they use the ZK rollup and like zero knowledge proof technology. So basically they are built on top of Ethereum, a lot of them. That's my understanding. There's a lot of protocols that are built on top of Ethereum, and so they just refer to the main blockchain once in a while, not every single time. And that's how they reduce the cost of transactions and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of innovation in this space. So anytime there is a problem, look at it that there is an opportunity for some smart people to come together and solve it and make immense amount of value for themselves and for rest of the world. So that's how I see it in any field. Yeah.
And because I mean, I I'll just finally ask you something, but I definitely need to get you back because there's a load of different things that I want to discuss, but I just want to keep the episodes in on less than an hour. But with
Sure,
the
sure.
with the lunar thing, then what was your thoughts
Yes.
on what happened? Because I mean that was like what, a week ago or something like that. So I just
Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. I have been following, let me tell you a funny incident. So the day it happened, everyone in our company was also talking about it. We were all reading about it. The whole evening I was reading about it. And then when I went to bed, I was um I was dreaming about that I am interviewing Do Kwon for my podcast. and I'm interviewing, and I'm about to ask him some really hard questions. And just as I was about to ask him, my 1-year-old woke me up at 5:30 in the morning, and I was like, "Oh no, I didn't get to ask him all the all the tough questions." So, so, so I don't know. But the thing is that I don't quite understand the concept of algorithmic stable coins, because to me, if they are controlled by an algorithm and not backed by something real for a stable coin, there's bound to be fluctuation. And then so they are like opposites, um, so yeah, so then it cannot be a stable coin. So I don't trust any of the algorithmic stable coins. And even when I was back in 2017 and 18 in this space, and the first thing that did start sort of the crypto winter was the people losing faith in Tether or USD at back then, because the Bitcoin price and Ethereum price kept going up. Um, and Tether kept saying that, hey, we are backed by USD. But then eventually it was found that only 2 or 5% of it was really backed. The remaining, they just made it up. And then they used that Tether to go and buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that was pumping the price of those two. And to give you an example of how severe the last crash was, we have no idea how, like right now is not too bad actually. In the 2018 sort of crash, Ethereum went from $1,400 to $82. So we do not know what real downturn is. We are still in an upswing. So yeah, Bitcoin went from 20,000 to $3,000. So when that sort of thing happens, then we are really in a downturn, crypto downturn, I would say. That's my view on, and that's when, if that happens, go and buy something. It will be shopping season. um but until then, I think it's okay. It's not like now there are so many people involved in the space than back then, that there is a lot more sort of cash flow engagement. And what really makes a difference is people building in the space. Back then there weren't that many people building. Right now there are some of the smartest people, and tens of thousands of that building products, building things, building utility in this space. So all that is, yeah, I think we are still in a good space. Luna, Do Kwon had another project, the basis coin, even few years before, or in the before the last crash, another stable coin that also crashed and burned like that, in a very sort of a similar fashion. So yeah, I don't know. The other thing is that some people say that it was an attack by someone really wealthy, with $4 billion, tried to crash it, like the George Soros style crash when they crashed the British pound. And then some people say these are just theories by the Luna Foundation to protect themselves and to prove that they're innocent type thing. But regardless, the damage is done. 300 billion was wiped out from the crypto markets, and there is still what do you call I don't know, still a lot of doubt, and people don't have the confidence on some of the other algorithmic stable coins. So just as a matter of safety, security, I would avoid any algorithmic stable coin.
Totally agree. Listen, Sam, thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, and I definitely need to get you back because I mean I've listened to a lot of your podcasts, and you cover a lot of good stuff. So you might let people know where can they find you.
Yeah, sure. So you can look for me, Web3 with Sam Kamani. That's SAM KAMANI. You can look for me in any audio platform, or look for Sam Kamani on Twitter or LinkedIn. Connect with me, reach out to me, send me a DM anytime, any questions you have. Very happy to to help you out in any way I can. But yeah, always I enjoy connecting with people and all that. And yeah, go and check out my podcast if you are into Web3 and building a community, gamification, all that type of things. I talk about all those types of things. And I have one last request, and that is, go right now to this podcast on Apple and leave a rating, and leave a 5-star rating. Roy is doing an amazing job. He is working so hard to bring you all this content. So that's the least you can do. That's it. There's no more ask apart from that.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. And what you do then when you're finished, do not go over to this is Sam's podcast, because I'll have to link in the podcast description and do the same, because yeah, it'll take you like 30 seconds, but it actually helps us because it allows more people to actually see it. So yeah, so thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you. Yep.
That's all for the Crypto Podcast. You'll find us on thecryptopodcast.org. We're also on BitChute and YouTube. Sure, as he said, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next week, take care.